Okay, let's try this again. You reload this, get it to show up here so I can see comments. There we go. Is that better? Is it still super janky? Let me know if it's kind of janky. Seems like it's kind of janky. Maybe I can just go live from the computer. Okay. All right, that guy says it's okay, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Right. Still doesn't seem super smooth, so maybe there's something wrong with the... I'm streaming from my phone. Um, okay, so smooth altissimo. You could say that a lot of it depends on just putting in the time, so that way you can just go up and down your scales and get that to happen. I was showing an example of how to do it in C, so let's do that right now. We'll take our just regular C scale, and we'll go down the horn. We'll start right in the middle. We'll descend down. We'll play it to the lowest note we can, and we'll go up as high as we can. All right. All right. So I kind of got a little funky on that one note. All right. So let me start at this higher octave and see if I can get that stuff to happen. Okay. So, obviously I'm having a little bit of trouble with that. So something that I might work on to get those notes to pop out a little bit better is do some overtone type work. All right. So what you can do for that is just play your middle C. All right, like this. All right, and then you're going to play your low C without the octave key and get the same tone to happen. Now, what you want to do is try to get them to have the same type of quality of tone. Like, you want to get that low C played up one octave without the octave key to have the same kind of trying to get it to sound as clean and clear as possible. You don't want it to sound like you're like honking an overtone, basically. And as you can tell right now, that's kind of what's happening on this one. Right? Now, one thing that you should focus on while you're doing that is, controlling your tongue position while you're putting air through that low C horn, low C note. Control your embouchure, like kind of go from like an E or an oo, like transition between them, and also going from like an E, ah with your tongue position. And you'll start to notice the way it makes that low C being played up an octave get more focused or less focused. Okay? Okay? And that's really how you can kind of dial in what type of sound you get, whether or not your sound is kind of nasally, or if it's like kind of whoa, or if it's woo, that kind of thing. Right? You can really dial it in that way. And that's one way you can actually really control what kind of sound you get out of the horn itself. Going back to the whole altissimo thing, the notes usually when you play your altissimo stuff, you got to take in a little bit more mouthpiece, and then you need to push a little bit more air, and then they'll just kind of pop out. Let me fix this read a little bit. It's a little too far back. I'm still not used to how much air this mouthpiece takes. It's like 90 thousandths of an inch relative to the Durga, which was 86 thousandths of an inch. So it takes a little bit more air. Man, I wish this thing was not so janky. It's like I want to figure out how do I pay for. No. Yes, it's you got to pay up front, and then you schedule it. You buy 4 lessons, and then you get we schedule them all out, and it works pretty well. Okay, back to the altissimo thing. So, once you are able to like kind of shed them with your shed them up and down the horn. Let me try this again. The other thing you want to do is, if you notice, like I'm turning super red when I'm doing that, and that's because I'm definitely playing here with like way too much tension. Like I'm having to bite to get that high E to come out, and that's because I haven't spent enough time trying to focus on controlling my airstream the right way so that it makes the reed get that note to come out. And that's something that I should have probably spent a lot more time working on. But yeah, I never really felt a need to know how to play above that high D. Once I could hit that note, that kind of like took care of everything I ever felt that I needed to play. So anyway, the next thing you can do is start shedding your scale. Like we'll take our C scale again and we'll start doing it in thirds. Okay, and basically what we'll do is we'll just try to go up and down the horn. Before we do that, okay, so you can kind of, just go up and down the scale and whatnot, but if you really want to get it good, what you need to do is you got to really shed those tough parts, like the transition from C to G. Right? Do stuff like that. It's gonna really annoy your neighbors, but that's fine. They're just, keep it, be reasonable. Like don't shit after 8 p.m. or some crazy thing like that, unless you have a soundproof room. But if you do stuff like this, and just really focus on the hard part. Like for me, that the hard part is definitely gonna be that transition from F to G to F to G. So if I just shed that. If I really just focus on that, I'm going to get a lot more consistent with it. And then the other part of it is just take what you're shedding and be like, okay, I know what notes I'm trying to hit, so the thing I want to focus on is actually the hand movement and the embouchure movement of it, right? So that's something that just kind of you develop over time, like the ability to say, all right, I know what notes I want to hit. Let me just focus on the mechanical side of it and just getting the actual muscle movement of that together. And if I can get the muscle movement of that together when I have it memorized, then I can focus on just making it very musical. Case in point, I wanted to talk about this on Monday when the nanny was here, but I didn't get a chance to. That little shed with me thing that I posted a couple days ago where I was like, here, you can play this 7th chord. It was, that thing. It was the why is that distorting? Let me go, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that sound right there. I was like, you know what? I gave this really cool exercise, but where's a good place to play it? You can play it when you have like your say you had a tune that ended up on like that minor 2-chord type sound. All right, that's a spot where you would play that lick, and that's a spot where you could shed the difficult altissimo stuff if you wanted to on it. So all right, that's a spot where you could do that. Let me play a simpler voicing. There it goes. That's the sound. All right. Okay, so this is a spot on, say we're playing that tune and it's got like a, right, and it goes with the 5-chord. Okay, that's the spot where you could say, all right, I really want to figure out how to play. I want to transition from some of these lines into altissimo stuff, like really smoothly. Okay, so let's do that. Yeah, so we'll just think like 4-chord, 3-chord, half diminished 2-chord. Right, and then we'll do like sus flat 2 on the, like, I hope you guys can hear that. Turn up the speakers a bit. I'll play that. Right, it goes to like kind of that sound, right? So let's say we want to apply the theory stuff that we covered in the last video, which was like, all right, so I'm going to play this chord, I'm going to play those lines, and we'll kind of figure out how we can transition into altissimo stuff. All right. Okay, so, geez, my face is like super red. That's something you can do to shed getting your altissimo smooth. And we used the thing we did in the last video as like a, here's a cool sound you can apply, here's a cool pattern that you can apply, and here's like a perfect example where you can apply it. I'm trying to think like what's a tune that we could use that does that. Let's see. What's that tune? I can't remember if that song has a half diminished chord in it. It does have a. It does have that. Total praise. Man, I haven't played these tunes for so long. I'm like starting to forget them. Let me see. Okay, a tune. I'm trying to think of what's a tune that we could use. Great is thy faithfulness. Does great is thy faithfulness have any minor 2 chords in it? Okay, well, all right. So for 513 Cats and Ricky Howard, the problem is that those tunes don't just sit on those chords, and that's the whole point of this video. Is like we want to combine the stuff we did in the previous one with the lick and whatnot, and figure out a spot to do it. So figure out how to apply that stuff to a song that we know. So I'm trying to think. Sorry if I appear a little distracted. My wife is reading to my son to kind of drown out the sound of this thing because it's super loud. Let's see. If I ever got any info, I did not like the Beechler Custom. It's basically a baffle-less version of the ARB Custom. I don't like the way the baffle-less Beechlers played. That was not the sound for me. That's all. They were great. They were very well made. They were awesome for what they were trying to do. What they were trying to do was not what I was trying to do. That's the best way I can play it. That's the best way I can express it. Okay. What I'm trying to think, like, what's an easier tune to do that has like more, that has I could do the tune that's like got like 100 and some thousand views. Okay, that's a spot where we could kind of throw it in, even though that's technically not how the tune technically goes. We're changing that 2 chord to do that. Okay, so oh no, that's not a good song. We could do "Speak to My Heart." "Speak to My Heart" because it's got the drive section. Okay, so the problem with these is like these tunes have tons of chord changes, so you can't really just sit on a sound and explore it the way that I had showed in that one video. And that's kind of the way you kind of sit on those chords and get to explore them. Yeah, joy to the world. The way you get to sit on those chords and just explore them is the way that you shed this stuff. And obviously we get to kind of do that at home when we're practicing. We don't really get to do that on the bandstand. What we get to do on the bandstand is kind of put everything we've shedded to practice. So honestly, like the best type of tune that is good for this is a song like So What or Milestones. Like some of these jazz tunes that are like if you want to get a jazz sound, play jazz notes and play with a jazz style. Okay, so that's a good tune where it's like, it's just like D minor for 16 bars, E flat minor for 8 bars, and then D minor for another 8 bars. So that's a good example of where we can kind of, we can do this as like a good exercise. Yeah, Sugar is a good one too. Sugar is kind of like a minor blues. Let's see if we're in the key of C. Okay, so do I know Hayburner? Man, I feel like I played that big band tune when I was much younger. Yeah, I feel like I've played that. Sentimental Mood, that doesn't have. Geez, we got like so far off from our minor 2 chord and our whole smooth altissimo thing. Okay, let's just pick one song. We'll do So What, okay? Because it's just D minor. Okay, I wish I had like a looping thing here that I could get. Well, I could do that in Logic real quick. Let me get that going. Let me just set up a real simple loop. Okay, that was fun. All right, let me set up a new Logic track. Okay. New track. Give me a second, it's loading here. External MIDI, because I'm going to use this organ sound again. Does Logic have decent loops? I don't remember. We'll just do maybe I can do some stylus loops or something. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see, EXP libraries, retro funk. Maybe let's see what this tempo sounds like. Let's slow that down. That'll work. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. All right. Let's get the tambourine involved. Okay, that's fine. Maybe the Suki beat. Yeah. No, we'll go back to Brooklyn. Because we want that swank. We want it to be kind of swangy. All right. Import new. All right, that's a 4-bar loop. Or that's an 8-bar loop. All right, let me just cut some organ on it. I'll just do. Oh, this is going to the wrong MIDI track. Sorry. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. All right, that's the loop. All right, we're gonna shed some D minor solo stuff, trying to figure out how to do smooth altissimo transitions into that. And it's 8:05 p.m. right now, so I'm gonna do this for about 10 more minutes out of respect for my neighbors. Okay. Put this on the screen so I can see your comments. All right, here we go. Are you guys able to hear that? Is that okay? Is that cool? Okay. All right, nice chromatic scale kind of thing that just takes me right to a target note. Right, we can do some. Okay, here's a good spot where you notice I may have played like a. I may have played a. Right, I'm just kind of trying to shed that difficult transition between those notes. All right, we'll just do that again. 2. Okay, that's something you can kind of do to just get this stuff together. If we apply the same technique from that previous video about playing 7th chords with an approach note, I'll do that now to kind of tie in that concept. To me, this is like such a cool concept to use, and it really makes it so all the regular stuff that you know that this basically breaks you out of playing just scales and whatnot, and gets you to think more like chord on top of chord. So like, as an example, that we've got our D minor chord, right? I can also think about like I can think of that as like E minor triad, a G triad, A minor triad, F triad, E minor triad, that kind of stuff. All right. No, I do not have a video about that stuff because you can just Google it. There's like so much, there's so many resources out there now. Just like Google alto, altissimo fingerings, and you'll get all that stuff. Like, and then it's all about just put in the time to shed it. You know, work on your embouchure, that kind of stuff. Okay, back to the whole seventh chords with approach notes, trying to get it, get some smooth altissimo stuff going. Yeah. All right. I'm doing the best I can to try to stick with the stuff I'm trying to teach, but it's so easy to get bored by that stuff, and then you just have to like kind of improvise or whatever. Could I make a video on altissimo fingerings for tenor? I'm not that good at altissimo for tenor. Mainly like the mouthpiece that I play on for it is not. It's like an old version of the Durga, and for whatever reason, either my horn or the mouthpiece is just not that conducive to altissimo stuff. It sounds like killing in the mid-range stuff. Anyway, is this stuff making sense? Those of you that are viewing it right now, the whole concept of like, how do you shed altissimo so you can get it smooth and then combine it with other stuff? I think that's a really important concept for people to kind of check out. And a really important thing for people to get this stuff together. I'm going to transpose this up a half step. Okay, and we'll do it again. No, I'm going to go down a half step. Okay, so we'll do it again. This time we're in the key of D flat. So instead of this, so I think that was the next chord. I don't know. I'm not even playing that change. Okay, let's try it again. All right. So again, that was pretty cool. Okay, so for that, I'm just working my way through my seventh chords, trying to play them kind of funky, give them a cool accent, give them a cool rhythm, just trying to make them sound kind of groovy. And to me, that's like, I feel like that's the best way to get kind of this stuff under your fingers. All right. You can notice that I struggled a little bit when I went up to the upper register of the horn. I don't think I took it into the altissimo. So this is a thing where I could, you know, I really should spend some time. Right? I should really spend some time and just get those seventh chords together under my fingers. Then, if I find myself, let's see, if I ever find myself in the key of concert B, I'm trying to think of a tune. Oh, here's a perfect tune that's in that key. Right, that's a perfect tune where I could apply this stuff, right? So case in point, this loop is in C sharp minor, right? But C sharp minor is the 2 chord of B, right? So if we redo a new loop and play this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's do that loop, and we'll do the same. All right, we'll do that same kind of 7th chord thing over this loop, and you'll see the way how all this stuff kind of fits together. Here we go. Sorry about that. The phone overheated, so it's probably going to do that again. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to do that, but just a heads up, that's probably going to happen. Oops. I got to stop out of respect for my neighbors. Here we go. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to end this here. Hopefully that kind of wraps together everything I was hoping to kind of wrap together. How to play altissimo smoothly. How to kind of get some of the stuff that was presented in the last video about that whole seventh chord thing, and how to apply it here. In this case, we'll use it over a very how to play it over that song. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, I think it's really feeling comfortable with notes, hearing the changes, and knowing when to apply them. Yeah, that's kind of what music is. And like how to respond. Yeah, basically what we want to do is get whatever we hear here to transfer to our hands ridiculously fast and just make it sound good. So it's like a 3-step process. Train your ears to hear the right notes. Train your hands to like go to the right notes, and then figure out how to be creative with it. If you can get all 3 of those parts together, you will make great sounding music. Yeah. Okay. If you guys are interested in private lessons, I'll put a link in the description. You can check it out. You can get 25% off. I think I'm going to end that at the end of May. Yeah, hit me up, and yeah, if you want to get some more knowledge. I'm hoping to drop some knowledge bombs here for you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Sorry it was a little chaotic, and sorry the feed dropped out. This phone got really hot. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah. Oh, check out my simple limiter too. Go to my Gumroad page. You can download it there. It's free. I'm eventually going to be releasing a course that's like how I wrote it. I developed it in C++. I developed it in Juice. Yeah. I'm really excited. I think a lot of you, a lot of my audience would really benefit from learning how to program. I haven't said much about it, but that's currently what's going on with my life. I'm playing a little bit, and I'm also just mainly programming right now. Okay, I will